Hello, writer friends, and welcome to one of my favorite videos of the year to make, the 2023 Preptober Planner Flip Through. So this is also one of my favorite freebies to make every year. I make this for you guys completely, totally free, and it's fun because I get to use it too. It's fun to see other people use it, and I just take great joy in helping people achieve their goals. And I think that this year it is the best Preptober planner I've ever created. This is 95 pages. And if you don't want to print out such a big planner, you have multiple options. So I am creating for you lots of different options, including, if you were paying attention to that intro, the first ever digital version of the Preptober planner. I cannot wait to introduce this to you. All of this is free. All you have to do is sign up for my newsletter. So if you are already part of my Hearties newsletter, you will find this in a folder called, I think I called it Preptober 2023. It's a whole folder that has all of these options. So today we are going to walk through all of the options. I'm going to take you through what's new in this planner, how to fill it out, and make sure that you are subscribed to this channel if you're interested in knowing how to fill this out, how to create a simple outline, and really how to set yourself up for success in November. I've been doing NaNoWriMo now for something like 15 years, but this is their 25th anniversary year, and it's going to be a good one. I feel like I haven't been this excited about writing in several years because I'm in a routine now. I'm almost finished with a book. I'm hoping to start something brand new for November. I know from the comments in my last video that a lot of you are feeling the same thing. So let's build up the positive momentum, build up the energy, and set ourselves up for success. So let's do a planner flip through. Let's go over all of the options for the planners, and we're going to flip through this whole thing. And I'm also going to show you how to use the digital planner as well. So this is probably going to be a long video, but I will leave some chapters there if you want to scroll through to find exactly what you're looking for. But let's go over the options that you'll find for free in the Heart Breathings resource library. If you're on my mailing list, it's already available for you there. If you are not on my mailing list, there will be a link for you down below, and you can join the mailing list. You'll get a link probably to the mixed start printable, but I'll also send you an email right away that gives you a link to my entire resource library. In that resource library folder, there's all kinds of free printables. So you have one on how to plot a novel, how to edit a novel, how to write your book from scenes, how to come up with great ideas, how to manage your energy, just tons and tons of great free resources. And in the Preptober 2023 folder, you're going to find multiple options. So I'm going to try to explain this as clearly as possible. I usually offer two versions of my planners in terms of the monthly layout. So in this planner, you have a lot of plotting resources and other things like meal planning and things like that. You also this year for the first time have a daily page, which is why this printable is 95 pages long. So I know not everybody wants or uses a daily page. So I've also given you a weekly version of this that does not have the daily pages, and it's much shorter because you just don't have all those daily pages for those 30 pages for daily pages. So in the monthly spreads, you have a choice of what I call my mixed start planner, which starts on a Sunday on the months, but then on the weeks, it starts on a Monday. And I mix those, so I don't have a Sunday start planner, not in my HB90 or in this one. It's a mixed start. So you've got Sundays on the months, Mondays on the weeks. And I know that there are a handful of you every time that ask me, could I please create a Sunday start planner? So let me know in the comments if you want a Sunday start weekly. It's just, it would take me multiple more hours to create that because the difference right now between the Monday start and the mixed start is just these couple of monthly spreads. And I would have to go through and change all of these weekly pages, which would just take a lot of time. And most people in Europe, I think, use Monday starts, so that I'm giving you an option. The Monday start has a Monday start monthly calendar and weekly. The mixed start has a Sunday start monthly and a Monday start weekly. Then you're also going to have the option of just the weekly pages, or if you want the daily pages as well. So in the folder, you'll see mixed start weekly, mixed start daily. The daily has the daily pages. The weekly only has these weekly pages that I'll show you in a minute. You'll also see Monday start, which means Monday start weekly and Monday start monthly. And you'll see that in daily and weekly options as well. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email, but you should be able to just open the file and see the difference. Then for the first time ever, I know you'll see a little bit of glare because of my lights right now, but I'll turn them off when we go through this. You will see a GoodNotes version or a tablet version. This is meant to work best for people that have like an iPad with a pen or like a Samsung tablet with their S Pen, something like that. So you can write in this. It does not have fillable text like a fillable PDF. It's just a hyperlinked version of the planner. So all of these tabs work. I'll show you how to use this in just a minute. But this is the first time I've ever offered it. It's not perfect, but it will be lots of fun. I'll probably be using this myself. And this also comes in the mixed start, which is a Sunday monthly and a Monday weekly, or the Monday start, which is everything is Monday start. So let's dive into the actual planner, and we're going to start right from the beginning. If you have downloaded my Preptober planner every year, some of this will seem familiar to you. So it starts with a little quote, journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, just because I want to remind you every time you look at this planner that even if it feels like it's such a tough goal, it's just about the daily steps that you take and you can totally get there. Writing a novel can feel impossible if you've never done it before, but it really is just one step at a time. And so I'm going to walk you through some of those steps today. I have a little note here for you about some tips for success during Nano. And then we have our checklists. So this is the same that it's been every year. It's a checklist for how you prep for your plan, prep your tools that you're going to use, like your software, your extras, your tools like highlighters, colored pens, washi tape. Prep your writing crew. So this is your NaNoWriMo website, like your local group. It's joining our Heart Breathings writing community, where we'll be doing a double down day coming up next Saturday and a virtual writing retreat the third weekend in October. And we're just going to have lots of fun events like daily sprints. I'll probably be doing some extra sprints. So if you want somebody to sort of be a body double, to be inspiration and accountability, there is a Google Calendar that you can join to see when everyone is live. And most of our sprinters go live on YouTube, not on my channel, but just on their own channels, and also on our Facebook group, which we have over 6,200 members, I think, at this point. So come join us. It's such a great group. You can always find someone writing in a similar genre that you can buddy up with. Then prep your novel, of course, like deciding your project, filling out character sheets and color coding things, index cards, scenes, research, world building, all of that as a checklist. Then prep your space. So where are you going to be writing? Do you have a comfortable chair to write in? I even like to prep things like what clothes am I wearing? And I talked about this a little bit in last year's videos, but at this point, I think I have Preptober videos from 2020, 21, 22, and now 23. So you've got 4 years of playlists, and I will link those all for you down below if you want to kind of look through those for ideas. Then you have a to-do list. This is sort of your master to-do list. List all the research, the planning, and the prep you want to get done before November 1st. Now, I just want to say that you're going to see lots of stuff in here about plotting or scene cards, but not everybody uses that type of tool. So I like to say this in my Publish and Thrive course too. Think of this like a buffet, right? When you go up to a buffet, you take the things you like and you leave the things you don't like, but you don't feel any pressure to like take the Jell-O. If you don't like it, you just walk by and you say, oh, I don't like Jell-O. I'm not going to do that. Think of it the same way when anyone is giving you writing advice or tools or any other thing. You just look at it and you say, that's not for me, and don't feel any guilt about it. Like, I know that there are writing gurus out there that will tell you, you have to do it this way if you don't plot this or if you don't do it this way. But the truth is, we all have our own process, and there's a lot of nuance there. And what works for you is the best process for you. So your to-do list might be really short, that you just kind of want to sketch out your characters. You want to do a Pinterest board. You want to talk to some people about the plot, or you want to read some books on writing, that kind of thing. For other people like me, it might be a longer to-do list of like color code each episode, plot each episode, figure out this. Like it might be more detailed, scene cards for every single scene. Some people are going to go really far on it, and there's going to be a spectrum in between of people who do almost no prep and still win Nano. You don't have to do a ton of prep. It's totally fine to just do what you want to do. So also, one of the reasons I like this as a printable planner or even as a digital, is you can just delete the pages or only print the pages that you want to use and leave the rest. But anyway, you've got a to-do list, a shopping list of anything you might want to buy before Nano, like index cards or highlighters or anything like that. And then a decisions list. So these are the kind of decisions you need to make before Nano begins. You might put some of this on your to-do list, like I need to decide what story. But on your to-do list, it might be brainstorm ideas. The decision is decide which one. So I thought that might be a fun way to separate it. Okay, so here's where we're going to get into the math of this whole thing. So I call this NaNo Math, but one of the things that I personally love to do that helps to set me up for success, and if you've seen this before, hopefully this will be a good refresher, is instead of assuming that I have a full 30 days to work, and we go through a similar process to this in my HB90 course, so I know some of you are familiar with it. If you plan you have all 30 days to work, you would need 1,667 words a day to hit your 50,000 words in the month of November. But where a lot of people fall behind or mess up or can't quite finish their goal is they don't account for the times or days when they might not be able to work, and they don't build in any buffer time. So they write 1667 today, 1667 on Tuesday or Thursday, and then they miss Friday because they forgot they had a big birthday party or a big work thing to do. And so by the time they hit Saturday, they're already 1,600 plus words behind. And in order to catch up now, you have to spread those 1,600 words across the other days. And at some point, if you get far enough into the month and you've missed too many days, it's going to be really difficult to catch up without basically sacrificing your emotional or mental or physical health. So I like to go ahead and take a realistic look at how much time do I actually have? So step one, mark off any days this month when you won't be able to write. So for me, I'm going to plan for the 20th and the 25th that I'm not going to write at all. I'm also going to plan no writing on Thanksgiving Day. I'm going to be traveling to go see my in-laws for these days. And I imagine I'll still be able to write on the off days, like when the family's just hanging out, but I don't know. And I don't want to plan that I'm going to be able to write those particular days. This day is double down day. So I know that I might get a little bit extra words this day. So you can kind of look at it like that too. Then you say, are there any other days that I have stuff going on throughout the month that I'm not going to be able to write? For me, I think these are just the 3 days. So then step two, choose whether or not you want to add in any buffer days. So buffer days are for things like if you often have a chronic migraine and you know it happens about 2 days a month, or if you have certain other like you have a child that you know gets sick this time of year every year, you might want to block off 3 days for that. Or if you just want to set yourself up for success, that if you have or need to take a mental health day, or you have something else that just seems to always come up, you might want to take an extra couple of days. So I'm going to give myself 2 buffer days. So for here, I have 3 days off. For this, I give myself 2. So now tally up your total days off and subtract this from 30 to get your total writing days. Now, I am setting a word count goal of 60,000 words, but for purpose of this, we're gonna say 50,000 because that's kind of the nano goal. Total writing days this month is gonna be 30 days minus the 5 that I'm giving myself. These 3 plus 2 buffer days means that I really only have 25 writing days. So should be easy math, but I can't really do math in my head. So, so we take the 50,000 words or whatever your goal is, divided by the number of days you have to write, and it gives you your daily goal. So my daily word count target goal is 2,000 words a day. If I had not gone through this process, then I would have been shooting for that 1667. And then when the end of the month came up, I would be potentially thousands of words behind on the finish line and having to practically like push myself beyond a healthy limit on these last couple of days. So if I plan for 2,000 a day, then I should be right on target even when I have to take a break. So I love to do it and set it up that way. Then we have a NaNoWriMo sprint calculator. So I first learned to do sprints through NaNoWriMo when I first went to my first like write-ins. They were doing these 20-minute timers, and then everybody would say how much they did, and it was so much fun. And then I later learned that this is actually a productivity technique called the Pomodoro technique. So we call them writing sprints. If you're familiar with Pomodoro, you might also know that. But On these next few pages, you're going to do NaNo Math. And that's what you'll do is figure out 3 things. What's your typical or preferred sprint length? So do you like to sprint for 15 minutes or do you prefer to sprint for 45 minutes? In our Heart Breathing's writing community, we tend to do 25 minutes of sprint with a 5-minute break. But how many words do you average in a typical sprint? And then how many sprints do you need per day to hit your goal? This is just another way of planning ahead and saying, okay, I need 2,000 words a day. How much time is it going to take me to do that? And then making sure you have that amount of time available in your schedule. So just read through all of this. You may know your average word count per sprint. Mine used to be 850 and now it's more like 650. I go for 25-minute sprints. So I put it down here, 25-minute sprints, and I can typically write about 650 words per sprint. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but it usually averages out to that. I would encourage you to go a little bit on your low end of average because don't say, well, I occasionally do 1,000 words, so I'm gonna expect me to do 1,000 words every single time, unless you know you can do that. Now we figure out how many sprints per day. So if my daily word count target from the previous thing is 2,000, and then I average 650 sprints or 650 words per sprint, then I do 2,000 divided by 650, and I know that I need 3 sprints per day. So how much time is that? If each block is 25 minutes, so it's 25 minutes of writing with a 5-minute break. So it's really 30 minutes increments. I need 3 of them. So I need 90 minutes a day. And I need to look at my schedule. That's why I have a whole planner here for you in the back. I need to look at my schedule and say, where are those 3 sprints going to happen? And if I don't have 3 sprints available, then my choices are I either need to learn to write faster for Nano, or I need to just set a lower goal than 50,000. You can't set a lower goal than 50,000 on the official Nano website if you associate your project with Nano. But you could set up a project that's not associated with Nano and set your own goal. Or you could just set the 50,000 and know that it's likely that you won't be able to hit it and it's okay. Like no one's coming after you. You're not a loser. It's okay to not win Nano. If you got 40,000 words or 30,000 words, you're still a winner because you wrote half a novel or whatever in a month, which is amazing. So here's the NaNo Math example, taking this just a little bit further. So Nano word count goal we'll say is 50,000. And I give you a full example here that you can follow. And then this is the blank sheet. Total writing days in November. For me this year, it's going to be 25. Daily word count total, which we already did, is the 2,000. Daily word count target again, we're going to write that. We're going to pull it from here to here. So that's 2,000. Average words per sprint is 650. This is the math we did on the previous page. So I need 3 sprints per day. So then we carry this down and we say 3 sprints per day times preferred sprint length and breaks in minutes, which is 30 minutes for me. Because remember, it's 25-minute sprint with a 5-minute break, gives me 90 minutes of desired writing time a day. Then down here, we're going to do total word count, 50,000, divided by your average word count per sprint, which gives you 650, is going to tell us about how many sprints we need in the entire month to win. So for me, it's going to be, this says 76. So I'm going to say 77. And then over here, I'm actually going to tell myself it's more like 90, just because I want to give myself like a plan that feels like it's going to work for me. So I want to try to aim for 90 sprints. And this for me is really motivating and fun because I can count those sprints. And actually in the back of your planner, you have this word count tracker where you say how much I wrote this sprint, how much I've written so far today, and then how much I've written so far this month. So what I would do, I actually have given you 200 blocks. But if my average, I think I can do it in 90, is I would come over here and I would like highlight this block and put a star by it. And as I fill this out all month, I can kind of see the finish line. And for me, this is part of winning NaNo, is like being able to see your progress as you go rather than just sitting there thinking, oh, I have 30,000 words left to go. It's like if this whole thing gets filled up, you feel that momentum of like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And it's just like, okay, only one more block left to go and I'm on the final stretch. It just adds to your momentum. So use any of these tools that you feel like will be helpful. But this NaNo Math calculator will give you your daily word count target based on the number of days you can work, number of sprints you need to have per day, and the amount of time you need to dedicate to it per day, which allows you to adjust your schedule as needed. And then also how many sprints you need to win NaNo in theory. Then I've given you a rewards planner for 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50,000 words. Alternately, instead of doing it that way, you could also do something like, once I get, like this column is 25 sprints. So once I get to the bottom of this column, I get my first reward. 50 sprints, I get this reward. That way you're rewarding yourself more for the time you put in rather than the result of the words. You can mix this up. So examples of rewards could be things that are monetary. So it could be, $20 to order Uber Eats, Starbucks to my house. It could be a whole day of watching your favorite anime once your word count is hit for the day. It could be a trip to the local zoo. It could be a spa day. It could be a facial, like literally could be anything. If you're on a tighter budget, maybe save up for that 50,000 words to be something you pay for and have these be things that you just like Netflix or something that you already have in your house, or like going to a park or something that you could do for free. Another thing that you could do, I did this one year, is blind boxes. So I love Hello Kitty. So I could go and get Hello Kitty blind boxes and I could get 5 of them. And every 10,000 words, I get to open a new one. Just something to look forward to. Later in the planner, I also encourage you to potentially give yourself a daily reward. And I have a video about this in creating your creativity toolbox that I think is really helpful. So I will link that creativity toolbox down below. What you could do is you could put 30 Hershey Kisses in a jar on your desk. And every single day, if you got your writing done, you get a Hershey Kiss. Or you could put 50 in there and for every 1,000 words, you get a Hershey Kiss. Or it could be something else that's small, like little washi tapes or, a pack of pens. I did this one year too, where you get a whole bunch of pens in one pack. And then you like get to open one a day or whatever if you hit your word count target. Just little rewards along the way can add up as well. Okay, so then we have our NaNoWriMo meal planner. So I'm going to be talking more about meal planning throughout Preptober later in the month, like towards the very end of the month. But this is a way for you to write down some breakfast ideas. There's 5 breakfasts, 5 lunches, a few snack ideas, and 7 dinners, one for each day of the week. When you have this chart and you simplify and you say, instead of trying to just wake up every day and think, what do I want for breakfast? If you have already predetermined, pre-shopped, like this really only applies to people that feel like you spend a lot of time trying to decide what to eat. You can eliminate those decisions. Plus, you're going to be making so many decisions over the course of November about what's happening in your story that it's super helpful to eliminate other decisions like, what am I eating? What am I wearing? So I tend to wear the same type of outfit every single day, just like shorts and a tank top or something like that every single day. So I'm not making decisions about my clothes. And I like to actually have the same breakfast every day. For me, it's like 2 eggs and some raspberries. And that's my breakfast every single day. If I feel like switching it up, my second option is a chia seed pudding, period. I just don't give myself a lot of options. Again, I know that doesn't work for everyone, but for me, it works great. My lunches are basically a snack plate. It's like a little bit of cheese, some nuts, some cottage cheese, like I have an option of things that I can put on my plate with a bunch of vegetables. And that works great for me. I can prep all those vegetables on Sunday and I'll share more with you guys. We also have a dinner rotation, like every Monday is the same meal, every Tuesday is the same meal. Might seem a little bit boring, might not work for you, but if you could at least plan out what you're planning to do for meals so you can take some of those decisions off your plate can be helpful. The next few pages are new to this year's planner, which is idea brainstorms. So this, I have given you several pages here, like 6 pages of questions to help you brainstorm. We're going to have a video coming up maybe this Thursday, I think, about brainstorming and coming up with ideas to write. Some of you may already know what you're writing, but some of you might need some help. So this is some questions like, what genres do you most love to read? What elements in these things that you've loved before do you like? What about main characters, villains, setting? And this is really just journaling about things you've liked or things you feel interested in. And then you get a little deeper into things like, what's the central conflict of your story? So I'm going to walk you through the process of coming up with that. You can go ahead and fill this out, or you can wait for that video of mine and fill it out afterwards, because I'm going to show you how I would fill that out. So you've got lots of questions there. Then this spread was in last year's planner. So it's just kind of an overview of your novel, the title, the premise, the character, the side characters, the villain, if applicable. I know a lot of romances, for example, don't necessarily have a villain other than the characters themselves and their reasons why they aren't willing to fall in love. The main conflict and the resolution, just very high level plot points. Then also you have a place to list up to 10 possible scenes that you can already see in your head. Like, if you're writing a romance, for example, you pretty much know you need a scene where the characters meet or where they see each other for the first time in a long time or whatever, like something with your characters. You're going to need a moment where they decide that they're in love with each other, or they confess that to each other, a scene where they break up, or that they have some kind of conflict between them. And then there's going to be the grand gesture. Like, there are certain types of scenes in every genre that you will come across. So if you're writing a mystery, there will be like a body that they found, or the introduction of the mystery. And so think about your genre and think about scenes that you know will appear in it, even if you don't know how it connects to the rest of your story. So this next section is also new to the planner, and I think it's going to be super helpful for people who like to have that high level plot. So I hope you're going to love it. This is a working outline. And again, I'm not going to walk you through it in detail here, because I'm going to have an entire video coming up in the next week or so about how to fill this out. And it's similar to my Plot Your Novel workbook, but it goes a little deeper into the explanation. So feel free to take a look at this, but it's going to be 4 full pages of walking you through each section of your novel and some of the decisions that you can make. Then we're going to break it down even more. So you have super high level, then you have a little bit more granular, and then we go into the scene by scene, where I show you how to set up scene cards and how to brainstorm what happens next and how to connect those scenes together. So we will also have a video on that. Creativity Toolbox, like I mentioned, there is going to be that video linked down below from a couple of years ago, Preptober 2021, I think it was. Simple Joys, Rewards Brainstorm, if you want to give yourself daily small rewards. Emergency motivation is for when you just feel like you're going to quit, you've fallen too far behind, you're tired, you get stuck. Emergency motivation list. So this is a list of your favorite movies, shows, books, anything in your current genre that makes you feel excited. Or it could be things like, I'm going to call up my best friend and see if she wants to go see a movie in this genre, or if we can just do a teleparty, like whatever it is that's going to motivate you to keep going. It could also just be take a full day off and just do fun stuff and let your brain rest, but write down your own emergency motivation list that you can turn to. So then I have this, you did it, you're ready for Nano. It has some links here. If you want to support me for giving you the free items, feel free to go and grab my books. So I have the first 3 books in my best-selling Shadow Demon saga are free. Go download those and keep reading if you enjoy it. So then we move into the actual planner part of the planner. So the first half or so of this, or maybe it's like a quarter, is all the prep stuff, Preptober. Then we go into your planner, and you can print this out as well and put it on your door if you want. So the planner side of it has this I do every year. It's basically a game board where you have 1 through 50, and you color this in every time you hit 1,000 words. So once you hit 4,000 words, you can color this in. 23,000 words, you should have all of these colored in. Some people like to do a different color for every day, so you can kind of see the progression. Then you have this chart here where you can see at the bottom, if you're following a 50,000 word goal, here's the word count you should have by the day you get here. So on day 15, you should be at about 25,000 words, which is half the goal. Then you have a spot above and below this line. So the way I like to fill this out is, let's say it's day 1 and I write 2,045 words. I would write 2,045 at the top, and then I would write 2,045 at the bottom, because this one is going to be today's total and the bottom is going to be my total so far for the month. So let's say day 2, I also wrote 2,010 words. Now I'm going to add day 1 and day 2, and I'm going to get 4,055 words. That way I have today's total at the top, the total for the month so far, and I can compare that with this total down here, and I can see if I'm on track. Now, from the previous NaNo Math that we did, we know that I'm actually trying to write 2,000 words a day. So what I probably will go in and do, although I'm going to probably do it in the digital planner, is I'm going to go in and put a little text box over the top of this, and I'm going to put in 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, and I'm going to put in my actual goals here. So you could white that out, or you could just leave it as is and know that you should always be a little bit ahead, because these days you're taking off later in the month. So that's how you fill that out. And then we get into your weekly and daily planner. So remember I said if you download the weekly version, you just get this weekly page, which has some place for notes over here. There's a little dot grid space. At the top of the planner, you have a space for your meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And then you have at the bottom a place for your schedule. And then of course there's room for washi tape down at the bottom. So if I know, for example, that I am trying to write 3 sprints a day, I'm going to write out my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, any snacks that I have as a go-to. And then down here, I'm going to say, like, I need 3 sprints, and when are they going to happen? So I'm going to say, like, I'm planning to do one at 8:30, one at 9, and then I'll do, those are my AM sprints, and then I'm going to try to fit one in after lunch here. So I could write out this schedule. Also, if you're in our Heart Breathing's writing community, or if you have other like local communities that have write-ins, or you have writers that you're getting together with, you could put that on your schedule here, and then you could see every day when it is you're planning to write. For the first time ever, in addition to that weekly page, if you download the daily version, you're also going to get this very cool daily page. I think this is going to be super helpful. So the way that I would fill this out, I'm just going to use this one because it'll be easier for me. And of course, did you see the Simply Gilded Halloween washi? I think it's sold out now, but it's so cute. These little spiders. I think this is from the Wednesday collection. I don't know where my little thing is. So anyway, super cute. You put some washi tape along the bottom, stickers. You could decorate this however you want. At the top, you'll see the date. You'll see the day of the week, and then how many days remaining. Now, the way I decided to do this, because I feel like when you're doing countdowns, there's multiple ways you can do it. But like on day 1, you have 30 days remaining, because it's how many days including today. So like on November 30th, it will say 1 day remaining, meaning November 30th is your 1 day. And then obviously December 1st, you have 0 days remaining and you can't write anymore. So hopefully that makes sense. I could have done it the other way by not counting this as a remaining day, but we're going to count it this way. Beginning word count for the day. So let's say over here that I wrote 2,000, like if I said my words for this day was 2,045 on day 1. When I started day 2, I would say my starting word count for the day is 2,045, and I have how many words left to write is going to be 47 and 900. I'm trying to do math in my head, 55. 47,955 words left to go. And as you go through your planner, these numbers will switch where you'll have more written than you have to go. And that I think will be motivating too. My intention for the day is, so you could put your goal is 2,000 words, but you could also use this to journal a little bit. You could say, I'm excited. I want to have fun. Any kind of little journaling that you want to say. I like to do this in my own, just any time that I say my intention is that I'm going to write from this time to this time, that I'm going to have really good words, that the words are going to flow. It's like sets my mind up for what I'm ready to do for the day. So you could fill that out before you start writing. Then you have a place that you can mark what scenes you want to write today. So if I already have my plot, but even if I'm just a pantser and I'm sitting down and I'm like, I was thinking about writing this scene where the couple meets, or there's an argument between them, and you could have your little scenes that you have an idea that you want to write today. And then if you actually wrote them, you could highlight it and say, okay, I got those done, but this one maybe migrates to tomorrow because I didn't finish it. And this one might be like, meet the antagonist, I'm just giving up examples. So that would migrate to tomorrow's page, and then I would just put meet the antagonist as a scene to write today. Then you have a spot for word count tracker. Now, this particular planner has like 12 different ways you could track your word count. You've got this big monthly calendar. You've got the trackers in the back. So just use whichever ones you want. This would be for sprints. So you might say sprint number 1, sprint number 2, sprint number 3, and you could track those words here. My mood today is, you could put stickers here. You could also just do a little smiley face, or you could put a word here: happy, excited, scared, disappointed. What I'm loving about this story gives you a chance to think positively about what you're accomplishing with this story. Why do I love it so much? What am I having fun with it? Even if it's frustrated and you're stuck, try to think of one positive thing you can say about that story, because that's going to make you feel more excited to write it. So you might say, what I'm loving about this story is the interaction between Lorelai and Finn. Whatever it is you love. Then at the end of the day, when you're done writing, you can fill out the daily wrap up. And this could be, the words were really flowing today. I got an average of 1,000 words a day. Or it could be, I really got stuck on this one scene. Tomorrow, I hope that I can figure this out. Or it could be, today was a really tough day of writing, but I'm proud of myself for sticking with it, and I've got to make up some time tomorrow. But just kind of journaling here about the daily wrap up. And then you would put how many words you wrote today. So remember I said, like, I had 3 sprints and I wrote 2,010 words today. Then I add the previous total, or the beginning word count, to my words for today, and I get my new monthly total of 4,055. And you could put something up here if you wanted that was like, am I on track or am I behind? And just use this space here for additional notes. So that daily page repeats for all 30 days of November, but they're arranged like a normal planner by week. So you have the weekly overview, then you have, because we start on a Wednesday, you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. Then you have Sunday here, and then you have a weekly wrap-up page. So this is similar in style to the daily page, but it's a little different, a little encouraging message at the top, how I feel about this past week, and you can journal about how you think it went. Then my word count. So I have Monday and Tuesday grayed out because we didn't count it because it's not Nano yet. But here you could go in and put your daily word counts that you had gotten so far, and then you would put in your total words that you've written so far this week. Then you have a few questions. What's working so far, and how can I lean into this more? So you might say, showing up, I write more every time I show up for writing a sprint with friends, or it's not working here. What's not working? How can I shift? Could be like, I've been trying to write at night, but by the time I get to sitting down, I just feel exhausted and I'm not getting any words. So how can I shift? Next week, let's try waking up a little bit early and getting my words in the morning. So really think about what's working and how can I continue to do that more? What's not working and how can I change it? Story problems I'm thinking through. So any place you're stuck, it just kind of tells your subconscious mind to work on it. And then what are your intentions for next week? So you could be like, okay, I'm a little bit ahead, so I want to keep up the momentum next week, et cetera, et cetera. Then we move into the next week. So we have the 6th through the 12th. And remember, in both versions, the mixed start and the Monday start, the weeks are going to be exactly the same. They're all going to start on Monday. Feel free to redate them if you prefer a Sunday start weekly. So then you have the next week all the way through Sunday with another weekly wrap up. And it just continues on that same way through the end of Nano, where here in this weekly, I just take you through the 30th, and then you have a little message from me about you did it, yay. And then we have the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. And then we have a Nano 2023 wrap up where you have a little quote here. And then what is your total words that you got for November? What's your average words per day? And then now that I feel that, or how do I feel now that Nano is complete? So you can journal a little bit, and then you could look back on this in future years. Then you have a little tracker here. What was your highest day, your lowest day, your best memory, and something that you're proud of for the month? What worked really great this year? What didn't work out as I hoped? And what could I change? What are my intentions for this book now that Nano is over? And then while the story is fresh, use this space to journal about major changes, edits, updates you need to make. If your novel isn't finished, make notes about what happens next in the story. 50,000 words, or if you've got 30,000 words, might not be enough to have actually finished your draft. So you might need a little break after the pressure of Nano or the exhaustion, the race to the finish line. So make sure while the story is fresh in your head, you make notes like, I wanted to go back and change this about this character. I wanted to solidify this plot point a little better. Just make all those notes here. Then we get into our trackers. So this is one potential tracker. You would fill it out like every single sprint goes here, the daily total, and then the monthly total. So you continue to stack them up. So by the time you get over here, let's say, I also like to write the date out to the side. So I might say, let's say we're on 11/15 and I'm on sprint number 51. I might write 425 words this sprint, but maybe total so far, I have 24,610. Oh, no, I filled that out wrong. Scratch. 425 this sprint. And if that's my first sprint of the day, it will be 425. But let's say my total for the month so far is 24,610. Then I would do another sprint on the 15th. And let's say I got 300 words. Then I would add it to today's total and it would say 725 for today. But then my monthly total would be 24,910. So you're keeping track of how you did each sprint, but also the data of how you did each day. So let's say you did 1, 2, 3, 4 sprints on the 15th. Then this would start the 16th. You would be able to go back and look and see that you did 4 sprints this day and how well you did on every single day of the challenge that you wrote. And it just gives you more data that can help you guesstimate how long your writing is going to take you in the future. Okay, you have 200 available word count tracker boxes. If you need more than that, you can certainly print out more. Another version of the tracker, I don't necessarily recommend that you do this one and this one and this one. Just pick the one that you like best. So this is 2 different versions. This one is your word count target if you're just planning for the 1667 a day. That tells you, here's my target for the day is 1667 today. My actual words, am I ahead or behind for the day? Then here's the total I should be at for the month. My total, am I ahead or behind in my notes? This second sheet is if you're following my NaNo Math and you have a different target. So for example, on the first, I would have a target of 2,000 words. On the second, I'm going to have a target of 2,000 words. But when I get down to this travel day of the 20th, I'm going to have a target of 0 words. Also on the 23rd and also on the 25th. But every other day will be 2,000. So the total that I'm aiming for would be 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, and so on. But when I get here, the total for this day and this day would be the same. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense to you, just don't use that one. Then you have a couple of other ones. This is a pixel tracker. Each one of these each little box is 1,000 words. So you have 10,000. Each one of these is 100 words. So if you wrote 500 words, you could come in with a color and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every line is 1,000 and there's 50 lines. So if you fill out every single block on this tracker, you will have hit 50,000 words. Then you have this Camp NaNoWriMo game board, which I actually just realized I had camp on here, so I need to go change that. So this is your NaNoWriMo game board. I've been using these for Camp Nano. Some people will print these on cardstock and just actually use like a little game piece. You could use this little spider or something, this little crystal. And so when you get to 3,000 words, you're here. So this is a slightly different kind of game board. I will fix the part that says camp, but it's day 1, you're here. Day 2, you're here. Day 3, you're here, and so on, like a little game board. And then you could write your total word count so far on here. You could also do it the way that I did it on that other one, where you write today's word count, and then you also write your total at the bottom. Either way, but by the time you make it to the 30th day, you did it, you're done. What's your total word count? Hopefully it's 50,000 or more. Then you just have another thing. I put this in the camp workbook. Please do not disturb the writer unless you have chocolate. If so, please leave it by the door. And then a notes page that you can print over and over. So that is our full NaNoWriMo 95-page daily planner. If you want less pages, just print out the weekly that doesn't have the daily pages. Or if you don't want to print anything, your option is to use the new digital planner. Yay, so this is your digital planner. As I said, this works best with an Apple Pencil and an iPad. I'm sadly not going to be able to provide like a lot of customer service with this kind of thing because it's just free. So if you know how to use these types of planners, use it. If you've always wanted to try one and you have an iPad or a tablet, then go ahead and use it. It won't work great just on a desktop computer, but it might work on a Remarkable or a Kindle Scribe. I'm just not sure. So download it, try it, it's free. When you have an iPad, if you've never used, like I'm in GoodNotes right here. If you want to use the tabs, meaning you want to be able to click on this and it's going to take you to that page, then there's this little thing right here that is a pencil with a circle around it. If it's a pencil with an X, then you're not going to be able to click these tabs. You're going to be able to write on the page. But you want to click on this pencil with an X, which then brings up the navigation menu. So see how now I'm able to move this around and click these. So if you are like, I can't figure out how to use the tabs, it's this little button right here in GoodNotes. So let me just quickly show you what these tabs are. Come back. Oh, I'm on the wrong. That's exactly what I just did. So you'll start out saying it's the same exact planner, just in digital. So the tabs that we have here are Prep, which is going to take you to the noveling checklist, and then all of your to-do list and your NaNo Math and all of those sheets. Then you have Plot, which is going to take you to the idea brainstorm and all of those subsequent sheets. Then you have Plan, which just is going to take you to this monthly game board, like the big one. And then you'll find week 1 right here. And then if you click Track, it's going to take you to those word count trackers at the back. Then you can see I also have up here at the top 1, 6, 13, 20, and 27. Those are the dates of the weeks in the month of November. So the first starts on a Wednesday, but that's your first week of Nano is 1. The second week of Nano starts on the 6th, so that takes you to the weekly planner, and then you'll find the daily planners after that. The 13th, the 20th, and then the 27th is that final week. So hopefully I don't have anything fancy with like the months in here hyperlinked. It just would have been too hard to do all of that work. This already took many hours, but it was really fun to do. And let me know, please, if you decide to use it. Also, if you decide to share any of these resources with your friends, I please ask you to share with them the sign up link to my website, to my newsletter, rather than just sending them the freebie, because part of this does take me like so many hours to create, and it is supposed to be for members of my newsletter. So instead of sharing these directly with friends, if you want your friends to have them, or if you share on social media, please redirect them back to my newsletter sign up form or to my YouTube channel. I would super appreciate that. So you have this other option for how to do your planning, and it's going to be hopefully really fun. You can just come in here and you can checklist things, and it's just going to be a great tool. I'm probably going to use the digital one, but let me know if you decide to use it, and definitely tag me over on social media if you decide to use the digital planner, or if you decide to print out the Preptober planner. Okay, that is it for our 2023 Preptober planner. I think it's better than ever. I hope you love it. I cannot wait for the rest of the videos coming up where we're going to actually be walking through how to create a simple outline. We're going to walk through dialogue and pacing and how to prep your life for Nano. Just lots of good plot stuff, as well as just how to win and succeed and get your mindset in the right place kind of videos. But remember, I do also have those previous Preptober videos and playlists for you. If you want to go watch some of those older ones, you can find some great information there as well as in the actual resource library for Heart Breathings. There's a lot of other video series, workbooks, and other things that you might enjoy in your plotting to make it a little bit better. So how to plan a series, how to write from scenes, you might be able to get a little bit more beefy information from those. So definitely just go enjoy all of those free resources. Thank you for being part of my Heart Breathings community here on YouTube. Please subscribe to this channel. If you would like, come follow me over on Instagram because I'll be doing some Instagram stories and content around Preptober as well. And I will see you guys in our next video coming up next week where we're going to continue all the Preptober fun. All right, if you stayed to the end, please leave me your favorite Halloween or spooky emoji or a writerly emoji to let me know that you made it all the way through to the end and you have downloaded these resources. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.